When Richard Branson was on Shark Tank, he made the news mostly for the water fight between him and Mark Cuban. But even before he was a guest on the show, Branson also invested in a company that was rejected by the sharks. The company is now Ring. The founder was penniless when he went to the show. 5 years later, with the investments from Branson's and others, the company was worth over $1 billion and was bought by Amazon in 2018. Now Branson is taking the Shark Tank approach to his space business. Here is a preview.
What we can also now start doing is helping them, get their projects off the ground. Maybe take a stake in the company, and get their satellites into orbit.
Richard Branson was one of the keynote speakers at the Small Satellite Expo, the annual event organized by SatNews, and he gave a very simple message to future startups.
Good luck. What advice? Just dream. Dream big, and if you come up with an extraordinary idea, there will be people like myself or Dan who will most likely help turn it into reality. There's so many extraordinary breakthroughs taking place these days, and we're looking for the next one, and our doors are open.
Space is becoming extremely competitive. In its latest research, the Space Economy Report 2020, Euroconsult estimates that the consolidated space economy, including both government space investments, as well as commercial space, totaled $385 billion in 2020. A record amount. Established operators like SpaceX or Arianespace are capitalizing on the demand by offering rideshare services to different orbits. So, for those companies that want to jumpstart the competition, partnering with Virgin Orbit, according to Branson, is a good idea.
Something that I would like to encourage the company to do, and they're more than welcome to take this on board, is that there will be a lot of people who will and who do approach the company with wonderful ideas to put satellites into space, but just can't afford it. And so what we can also now start doing is helping them, get their projects off the ground. Maybe take a stake in the company, and get their satellites into orbit. And we're entrepreneurs through and through, as you know. And that's the kind of entrepreneurial thing that I think that Virgin Orbit should be doing. And so if there are people out there that have got great ideas and to put something into space, but they can't afford to put it in, we could maybe do it in return for a stake in the company.
For the space startups that want to pitch an idea to the founder of the Virgin Group, it will be useful to have a clear idea of what the company's vision is. Here it is in the words of Richard Branson himself.
What they were trying to achieve was not easy. I mean, we want to be able to launch from any part of the world on numerous 747s parked around different parts of the world. We want to be able to build rockets that we can ship out quickly to different parts of the world. We want them to be able to go into the right orbit, any orbit anywhere in the world. We're offering a different proposition to most of the other people. We can take up more weight than in the size of satellites, and we're going to be building rockets which are much bigger than the current rocket as well. So we'll be able to take up even more weight. There is an enormous demand for the kind of project that we're doing, i.e. the launch from a 747 into any orbit anywhere in the world. Both from commercial people who want to replace satellites that fall out or put new satellites up. But I think what makes us particularly unique is our capability for the US Air Force or the British Air Force or the Canadian Air Force or the French Air Force, all of whom have been encouraging and working with us over the last 2 or 3 years, to give them an extreme deterrent capability, so that if they were to lose satellites anywhere in the world, they can be replaced incredibly quickly. And if we do this cleverly, what 747s are taking those satellites up, they won't know. I mean, if we can convert enough 747s, and much more difficult for enemy power to know planes than it is just one ground-based launch, which they could take out at a minute's notice. So we've got quite a range of things that this company is capable of.
What is important to remember is that Virgin Orbit and Virgin Galactic are two different things.
Virgin Galactic and Virgin Orbit don't fit together in a sort of too obvious a way, which is why actually we split the companies into two separate entities. One putting satellites in space, and the other putting people into space. But they're both incredibly important to the Virgin Group. I mean, in fact, arguably they came along and saved the Virgin Group. I'm a great believer in diversification, so that if something like SARS or COVID hits you, or 9/11 or whatever, you're diversified enough to be able to help the companies that are in trouble. When COVID hit, we launched our cruise line the day before COVID hit. That wasn't a great idea. We had two airlines. That wasn't a great idea. We had the biggest fitness chain outside America. That wasn't a good idea, including South Africa. We had hotels around the world. That wasn't a good idea. Anyway, and so it goes on. So the one shining light in the last 12 months has been Galactic and Orbit, and thank God we did diversify into space. I didn't diversify into space thinking I'm going to make lots of money out of space. I diversified into space because I love space. I love connecting people. I love the idea of giving people the opportunity to become astronauts who could never have generally afforded to become astronauts. I love creating things. I love my granddaughter who's 2 looking up at the sky and after Dan's rocket went into space and pointing up and saying, Papa's rocket's on the moon. Papa's rocket's on the moon. Anyway, there's lots of reasons, but if it can help pay the bills of the Virgin Group, that we're very, very grateful to space for as well.
At the time of this event, Virgin could not perform some of the important test flights that were scheduled for this period. However, there is an important event that is particularly close to Branson. Take a listen.
So we've been working with Cornwall for a couple of years now, and the project is moving along well, and we look forward to next year doing our first launch out of Newquay Airport.
Cornwall's where I went as a kid, and Devon, and so it's definitely a place I want to visit again. I haven't been there for a while, but many happy memories. But a beautiful part of Great Britain, and I don't know, I'm not sure when the last space launch was from the UK. So I think it was an awful long time ago. So exciting.